Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as, investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy! Alright folks, here we are on Friday, December 15th. We're going to take a look at Uipath today. So Uipath, having some huge days lately, up 26%, and then down 5, up 5, kind of flats, and then still trying to push up a little further. So I scrolled back left, and there's this gap that it's sort of in the midst of trying to fill at the moment. So we have some work to do because I have nothing charted on this. So let's put some levels in here. I'm going to turn this purple because that's both a support and resistance level as well as the gap fill area, and then this one, same deal. All right, so it gets in the gap at $23.95, fills the gap just shy of $29 at $28.96. Now in the chart portion of this effort, you see it's commonly leaving and filling gaps as we scroll through. There are what could be described, I guess, as some disturbing gaps now that are taking shape for the bulls. So I'm just going to put these in. I'm going to gray them out unless they are also a support and resistance level, just so that if the price starts to nudge through there, they don't super stand out on the chart, but if the price starts to go through, then they will sort of catch your attention. So there's all these gaps that are quite far away as well. Again, I'm just going to note them so that they're here, and then we'll zoom in a little closer to the current price action and put in some support and resistance levels that are sort of within or just outside of the current gap that it's engaging with. Okay, so that covers all the gaps that I need to at the moment. Now in here, let's scroll back left where it was previously when it left this gap and just kind of see if we can grab levels from there. Didn't spend a ton of time in here previously. Let's see if, no, okay. All right, so kind of thin price action to go off of, to be honest, in the gap here, as well as, any of the price action that it's put in being in the gap so far. But okay, these stand out. And then this one here. Okay, I feel good about these. Let's see if these sort of remained true in the current price action. Sorry, this is going to be a little nauseating maybe. Okay, so it's right where it's interacting with at the moment. Now it doesn't account for this, all of this topping out here, all of this resistance that it's caught in this like 25-ish zone, like the stretch from mid 24s to low 25s. That's where it's caught a bunch of its resistance lately. Now that could be more of a matter of it kind of struggling to just stay in the gap, right? This was a huge jump up, and so having folks continue to say, hey, that stock just went up 26%, now is a good time to buy. Regardless of what you think of the zoomed out visual of the price action and where it previously has been and so on and so forth, that's kind of can be a challenging endeavor to say, okay, I'm going to buy into this stock that just went up 26+%. So I think it's probably just more of a matter of that, seeing if it wants to stay in the gap, because if you take this as just a chunk of candles, it is more or less that it's just kind of wrestling with this gap entry level, $23.95. So I would take that more as that than particularly that there's a bunch of resistance in here. Now, it did push off of this 26.14 level. It stretched up to 26.43, but couldn't hold it there in any meaningful way. Just wicked back down through. And now today, sort of putting in this inside day at the moment. So we'll see if that continues to play out in the bulls' favor or not. If it does stretch up through 27.18 and 28.02, look like a couple of levels that could come into play. And then that would be, about it unless it puts in a bunch of other price action that establishes some other levels. 28.96 would be the fill, like I said. So if it does come down and it just starts losing it and it loses the gap, right, and it pushes below 23.95 here, I would look for it to, see what it does at this 22.13 level. Could be interesting to see if it treats that as support and wants to come back up, or if it slips down into it. And again, that's if it retraces all of this motion and comes back down into that area or not. But just wanted to call out those areas and, the fact, like I said, that it is currently in this gap here that was previously left. Just for my own curiosity, it was down a little over 25% that day when it left the big gap down. It had dropped over 7% the day before. So, all right, flipping over here to the Think or Swim study. So a couple of good callouts here. One good callout by the TTM squeeze indicator, right? Pretty lengthy trigger, and then it fired, and it was a little bit of a slow roll as it was firing. It was putting in some good motion still, but then, just bang as it continues to fire. Huge pickup on the bullish momentum. And also this conviction candle, which I'm pretty lukewarm on. They throw a lot of missed signals, right? That didn't really push the stock price down a ton. But, this one, if you caught maybe the confluence of trigger and fire and it looking like it's wanting to kill off the bearish momentum and pick up the bullish momentum with a conviction candle signaling in there, maybe that's a good sort of duo to build more confidence on. But in any case, really nice motion here. Now, what we see on this side of things is that it's outside of the channel, right? And so the question now becomes sort of twofold. One, when is it going to retest the mid-range of the channel? Because at some point, that's almost certainly going to happen, right? It's always what we look for. It's out of the channel, and then it comes back in and retests. It can spend, I don't know if there's an example of this on Uipath, I guess not, but it can spend quite a lengthy period of time out of the channel before it comes to retest, right? This is pretty brief, and right now it's been out of the channel longer than those previous pushes. So that's the first question. When is it going to come in to retest the mid-range of the channel? Like I say, it could stay outside of the channel for quite some time. The other question is, when it comes to approach the channel, what does that look like? In other words, does it do like we saw here, where it wicked off of the upper mid-range of the channel and use that as support? Does it do what we saw here, where it uses the upper bound of the channel as support? Will it use this green wave cloud as support? Those to me are typically signs that there's more bullish momentum to exhaust and to work through, and that there could be just additional opportunity for push. However, if it does come down and is able to stretch all the way down to the mid-range of the channel, then the question is always, okay, what does it do when it gets there? Is it just a healthy pullback, a healthy retracement, and then it's going to push back up again? Or does it wrestle with that for a while and sort of consolidate further? Or does it lose the support of the mid-range of the channel and starts to then retrace much of the gains and push down toward the lower bound of the channel? So those are sort of the two things that I'm going to look for. Where is it catching support when it approaches the channel? And when it gets to the mid-range at some point in the future, what does it do with that? All right, folks, I hope that you have had a good trading week. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.